Hello, greetings. This is Gilles Mancier. I wanted to come and say hello. I am called to return here to continue those discussions on transcendental psychology. For we are in a moment of awakening. We need to awaken. We need to connect to that higher life force energy that is our soul, and so from there we'll be able to connect to the great universal soul, and we'll feel connected to the whole of life on a different level. For it is really what is happening. We are returning to this multi-dimensional nature. We have to allow, accept, embrace, and be grateful for it. Although there is still a great deal of unknown that is part of that process, we have to trust. For the more we trust, the easier things get. Of course, trust yourself also. Don't trust things that are untrustworthy or people that are untrustworthy. But when you put your faith in God, your faith in your soul, your faith in your higher self, your faith in your guides, they will not disappoint you. The situation is optimism. So we are optimistic. What's going around that is the light. The light is discovering our true nature, to know who we are, to be in the light, to be light. Well, what we see before us is the request. We are making requests to the universe. As we ask, we shall receive. So, but be ready. We ask for many things. Sometimes we are not ready. So the universe say, well, this is really good for you. You are right to ask that, but get ready for it because you're not ready to receive it. So we have to be fully ready. It's not always easy to be ready for something that we do not yet embrace it in the totality of our consciousness, but we have to have the faith and the trust and let go of whatever aspect, and realize that also that when we trust that the universe can provide for us a life situation that is far greater than we could with our own mental ability, to use the assistance of the invisible, the intelligence of the universe to create for us, to assist us in the creation of a global enlightenment process for all of humanity. Envision this planet already in the pristine state, in this most brilliant state, imagine all humanity being in that peace, in joy, in health, and in full appreciating the freedom after so many millenniums of bondage. So envision already all that, and know that this is part of what God has planned for this planet. And those who are not ready, those who fight the light, will find only oblivion at the end of the path. They will be removed and sent to another plane where they will be able to move on to this, stay on this lower cycle. But the ascension will only be open to those who have developed certain ethic, moral understanding, and who have enough love and respect, and be able to concord, to not be... So it's a process. We are being trained every day. We are being educated. We have to pay attention to the prompting of the heart and what life is mirroring to us. What's in our subconscious here is the accomplishment. There is so much that we have already accomplished, and now where the situation is the dream. It is how do we make our dream come true. For the dream is extremely important. It is how the universe expands. If somebody didn't dream of a light bulb, we wouldn't have light bulb or whatever. But everything comes from imagination. Creation follows imagination. So trust your dream. Know that if you have a dream, it is meant to be realized. And so you ask your guides, you tune into the universe, and you see what is the next step I need to take in order to further that towards its completion. What's coming up next is the reward. So there'll be great reward for it is, but we have to accept the rewards. For sometimes we want to be very ascetic and say, well, we don't need anything, but we do need a lot of things. We need people, we need money, we need love, we need sharing, we need creativity, we need to see the sense of the potential that is what we are in this situation. Our strength is the meeting, the encountering. So it's about being one with ourselves. So to be enough of ourselves, our true self, so we can attract the true match for who we are. Also, for those who are looking for a relationship, we have to align ourselves first before we can attract that relationship. And what comes to us from the outside world is success. So there is this success that is coming. This is the manifestation that it might have taken. Sometimes things may take a long time in coming, but it doesn't matter. Time is not is given so that we can go through our process. what we feel in our emotion, hopes and fear, is unity. It is the perfect blending and harmonization of that one that is love. And the general outcome is luck. For the luck is when God wants to remain anonymous. We call that luck. But Einstein says, well, I agree with him, God does not play dice with the universe. There is no this idea of luck. Or Jacques Monod, which is a Nobel Prize in physics, discovered DNA, but I read his little book, very difficult book to read, but to him, everything that he did not understand was random. There could not be an explanation that if there was an explanation, it had to be part of his understanding of this mind and at his time. And in the DNA, he realized that 97% of the DNA was completely beyond his understanding, and so for him, it was absolutely junk. That's what they call it, junk DNA, because since they cannot understand it, it has to be meaningless. But in truth, the DNA is the cosmic strength. It's who we really are. It is our blueprint. So we want to activate all this DNA. So the DNA is the replica of the DNA of God. And it will be expanded as we grow. I'm going to pull a few cards from the Akash. The highest wisdom is letting go of the Inquisition and the persecution. It is about getting out of the matrix, getting out of the caverns of Plato. For everybody, it's like commenting on all the shadows. But when you move into the higher soul, you get out of the caverns, you see that those shadows are being projected by those in the fourth dimension that are projecting those shadows. They're just holding their own program. Of course, there is no really it is just a relative value for to keep being in the darkness. Just creates a potential for light discovery, but it's not to be in conflict with those who are projecting the show, but trying to go back in the cavern and try to give enough argument so that it resonates enough so that other people would want to discover the light of the sun above. What we need to understand is health. What do we do to make our health better, to align with a more healthy lifestyle? Certain time there is a certain compromise to be done. What we need to do is, man, woman, it is finding the balance, this 51%, 49%, to balance out this energy. We do want, if we are men, we want the masculine energy to be dominant within ourselves. If we are women, we want the feminine energy to be dominant within ourselves, but not so much, just 51-49%. But in many sense, we at the original state, we were androgynous. There was no need for we were whole. It's just also Plato, just in the Banquet, it speaks about this, how human beings were whole, but they were so beautiful that the gods were afraid that they would take over the whole program, so they separated them. And so, but those are mythological stories. They're symbolic story to try to illustrate certain aspect of the consciousness that is evolving here on this planet. And the general message for us is love and reciprocated. So it is important to understand that that unconditional love is not depending on reciprocation, and the more love we have that is unconditional, the less meaning the less vulnerable we become to those who do not reciprocate, because as we have enough love, there is enough love to be abundant, yet we want so sometimes if we have this love for somebody that does not reciprocate, it means that there is it's a catalyst for growth, something that needs to be understood. Once we understand that, we'll find community life, which is finding everybody has its place, everything that is moving back into this order where everything functions for everyone. I wanted to say, for now we are faith sons and daughters of God. So it is our faith that really protects us, that assists us. One day we'll go all the way back to the source. We'll become children of God. We'll become sovereign. We'll become recognized by God. But as you recognize God, God recognizes you. For we want to live in the light. Also, we want to acknowledge that we have this divine spirit presence within ourselves called the soul adjuster. And but the soul adjuster, this divine presence, is the highest guide, the purest of all spirit that is here. But he will not impose his views, or we want to find a way to communicate and align, to allow this spirit to spiritualize our mind, to work with it, to allow it to progressively disconnect all the lower frequency, in order, because it wants to take us all the way back to paradise. And it's got this mission, essentially. And also to know that to acknowledge that it is my will that thy will be done. It is not just something, we have to decide that we want the divine will to be expressed through us, and that will give us a great deal of meaning within our life. For once we work for the highest good of all, that the win-win situation, there is a great deal of value that we'll discover in this process, rather than the win-lose of this competitive game that men are playing right now. In many sense, we have a name. The name is vibration. So we identify with this name and vibration, but we had an eternal name that were given to us when we first entered the universe. And my guardian angel showed me that name, but I couldn't record it. It vanished too fast, and it's kind of a long name. But I had many names in my incarnations also. Originally, where I come from, there is no need for name. For we recognize each other without name. We have a mouth, but we never had the need to speak, because we know each other, and so we just life is just an eternal. It's just in the eternal beingness. But in many sense, names are vibration, and so we wanna understanding the power of words, the power of the power of the sound, how sounds are being also understanding that those waves of light there is waves of light that are coming to the earth, and the X waves and the gamma rays that comes from the galactic center. Those are magnificent, and they're uplifting the whole solar system. Yet understanding that if we were a piece of sand on the beach, and this great love comes to us, and so we feel so good, and there is so much liberation. But as the wave returns, we feel all dry, and we feel we have the light has left us, and we find ourselves it was an illusion, and then it comes back, and then but eventually when we move into when the lights withdraw. It is just to move into gratitude, to know that there will be another wave, and then we'll surf onto those waves. For there are mysteries in time and space, and there are eternal mysteries. I will come to those are questions I'm asking myself. I don't know how much of an interest in advanced cosmology there can be through the internet at this time, so that's why I don't want to get into too complex of discussion. Understanding what you ask, you will receive, but we have to be ready, and it's very, very important. And right now we want to connect with our soul tribe, our soul family. It is essential. Yet all those who are working in the light are part of this family of light, and so therefore we are brothers and sisters within that family. And so to understand life is eternal, and death is temporal. That's the most important things that you want to understand. No matter what, it is a great illusion. That is part of why we call this world an illusion, is because we have been led to believe certain things that we'll come to realize down the road that were not true, because we've always been eternal, always been divine, and we always had all the powers of heaven and earth that were within ourselves. For now, we may not be able to access it, but we have to trust. The more we trust, the more the light unfolds and give us some more insight into things and into our physical body. The physical body is a magnificent temple that's way beyond human consciousness. At this point, we do not know ourselves. We do not know the powers of the sacred energy that are within each of the organs, that are all kinds of sacred energy, all kinds of for the I Am Present does not live in this material universe. It is just a mind and dweller. It lives in the higher plane, but it is fully conscious, and it recognizes itself as you. So your I Am Presence is you, is your higher self. Eventually will fuse, and there will be no more difference between this pre-personal spirit of God and the immortal soul that will be fused. Well, the painting behind me is a transition painting from 2004. It is part of the Interior series. It's the first one that came into the Interior. Of course, this one talks about a very advanced spirit form, so that they're called inspired spirit of the Trinity, for they have the very mysterious order of beings. And I saw that because they're so mysterious, I would put them in my painting and see what they respond. And then I've been shown, I discovered a lot of subtle things about some things that are unrevealed about those spirits. But here it is, of course, a clin d'oeil à Henri Matisse, who made those blue nudes. And it's a nice little transition painting. It's like a Mondrian, and here there's the 7 families of spirit beings. And I'm going to finish with a song. It's from the song Epicurean. Epicure was a philosopher who believed that happiness was the highest aspiration for man. Of course, you can find that already in Aristotle and Plato. Plato believed that pleasure could be gained through vices, but happiness can only be gained through virtue. It's something that lasts, when pleasure does never last, but happiness always lasts. And Epicure was a 3rd century BC philosopher who also thought that friendship was the highest value in human experience, and in many sense friendship, love may not last, or romantic love can come and go, but friendship is something, a very secure value. And so this song, I'm not going to sing it in a psychedelic version like Joe Cooker in Woodstock. I'm just more traditionally, it's a song called With a Little Help from My Friends. What would you think if I sang out a tune? Would you stand up and walk out on me? Lend me your ears and I sing you a song. I will try not to sing out of key. Oh, I get by with a little help from my friends. I get high with a little help from my friends. I'm gonna try with a little help from my friends. What do you do when my love is away? Does it worry you to be alone? How do I feel by the end of the day? Are you sad because you're on your own? No, I get by with a little help from my friends. I get high with a little help from my friends. I'm gonna try with a little help from my friends. Do you need anybody? I need somebody to love. Could it be anybody? I want somebody to love. Would you believe in a love at first sight? Yes, I'm certain that it happens all the time. What do you see when you turn out the light? I can't tell you, but I know it's mine. Oh, I get by with a little help from my friends. I get high with a little help from my friends. I'm gonna try with a little help from my friends. Do you need anybody? I just need someone to love. Could it be anybody? I want somebody to love. Oh, I get by with a little help from my friends. I'm gonna try with a little help from my friends. Oh, I get high with a little help from my friends. Yes, I get by with a little help from my friends. With a little help from my friends. A song about friendship, huh? And so, because we can depend on friends, so it's good to have friends. There was a great little book about Sénèque or Plutarch about the value of friendship. That's maybe on the internet, audiobook. It's very short, but it's very beautiful. It gives us some pointers about how to be a better friend. And so I'm going to pull one more card. This is from the Archangel. It's the 7 of Michael. So there is still things that needs to be worked out. There is a better ways of doing things. To go alone it may not be the best solution. Do not neglect details, for there is help that is right there. So is like moving to, is at the crossroad, and then you can go to a dark road or a light road. So it is important to know that we have the choice, like in the song Stairway to Heaven, there is always a choice to change the road we are on and to return to the road of light, and so to follow the yellow brick road, follow the yellow brick road. And so understanding to let go, to know that it is the end of a cycle, and to move into the state of appreciation and gratitude, and to get ready for the new. Well, I hope this video was interesting. I wish you a wonderful day, and I'll talk to you later. God bless. Namaste.